Okay, welcome to the Chess Channel. Today we're going to take a look at an early game in history. Kasparov talks about this game in My Great Predecessors, I think. Anyway, it's a classic game just on what to do if your opponent opens a short diagonal against the king. Well, it might look a little odd there, you're sacrificing a knight for a pawn, but there's good reason. The king is in danger. Two ways to get out. He can move the king or block the check. If he blocks the check, well, we got a nice little fork here, king and rook. You can block the check, the bishop, you can move the king, and whoops, don't worry here, queen's not getting trapped. Alright, let's go back. So what if king e7? Well, still queen takes e5, king must move to f7, bishop c4 check. You could block with the d pawn, but doesn't really change anything. King's still gonna have to get away. Queen f5, king h6 is forced, and I love this move. Pawn d4, this is what we call a discovery. When one piece moves, it opens a door for another to attack. In this case, it's the king who's attacked. Alright, so he's got to block the check, pawn g5. Take a moment, what would you play here? Okay, hopefully you found pawn to h4. Why do I say hopefully? Well, too many times I've seen players rush here and take on g5. Uh-oh. And yeah, you get your queen back, but the problem is there are no queens on the board, and the lack of development is not going to be as big of a problem here. You're down two pieces, and yeah, you can chase the king around a little bit, but much different than if you found the right move here, pawn to h4, and the pawn on g5 is pinned. Very difficult, if not impossible, for black to get away here. Alright, well, let's say he defends the pawn. Pawn takes g5. Well, why can't he just take it? Double check. Another discovered attack. Here we have the rook and pawn attacking the king twice. King must move. Can you find it? What to do? Well, I'm sure you found it. Checkmate. Alright, an 11 move classic miniature here. And moral of the story is don't open short diagonals against the king. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's say pawn d6 was played. You know, still not the best. Knight c6 should be played to defend that e-pawn. Knight f6 is also another strong move. But here, bishop b5 doesn't really help white. He can chase the bishop away. Look how many ways black can block the check, as opposed to a short diagonal where it's much more difficult to block, and in this case, even after the third move of the game, black's position is really poor. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.